Well, hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode number 47 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. We are live through YouTube on the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel, on X, Kinesics, and also, I was also waiting for my show to start. Spicy time. And also on Rumble on the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel as well. And everywhere that you get podcasts, like 20 minutes after this live stream ends, after this show ends, you will be able to listen on Spotify, and roughly 1 hour later on every single other platform: Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever. There's no way you cannot watch or listen to the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. We are almost getting ready for Christmas. We are getting ready for Christmas. I'm going to make sure that I have everything in place and we can begin, because we have quite some of content ready for today. And we start with some memes. Let's start with some memes. This one, I analyzed this one for the Royal Rogue yesterday. Some of you were asking me, have you taken a look at that Christmas card from Meghan and Harry and that badly photoshopped picture? Well, I don't think it was a Photoshop. That was a real picture. A very bad picture, nonetheless. And but we already have some memes from that one. I saw some memes. Some memes can be quite cruel. I'm not gonna show the cruel memes. Yeah, gold tie today. The man with the golden tie. It could be like a James Bond themed movie. Why not? We will be able to generate our own AI movies soon, but at the same time there are a bit of hurdles, there are challenges, there's stuff that we don't like about this, and I speak as an artist and as a scientist at the same time, in which I like technology to progress, but I don't like when I open my YouTube studio, the place where I control everything happening on my YouTube channel this morning, and I got this, option. I'm going to read the option first. You can now choose if you want to allow third-party companies to use your content, our shows, our videos, because this is ours. I do this with you, and looking at your live chat right now. You can now choose if you want to allow third-party companies to use your content to train AI models in studio settings under third-party training. And how about no? How about no? No, that is not going to happen. Luckily, my YouTube assistants already told me that if I don't want third-party companies to use my content to train their AIs, then I don't have to do anything. The problem is that Google itself, I don't know if Google itself is a third-party company in this case, because, that YouTube, and I don't know if YouTube is owned by Google or is owned by Alphabet, which should be the mother company of it all. And no, that is really concerning. But no, I don't want any AI to be trained on my content, on my likeness, on my voice. No, that is a massive no. That is a no, not at all. I don't want any of that. And I let's say that I'm still an illustrator and an artist. I could dedicate myself to that, but you know that the world needs some common sense, and my calling right now is to create these videos and create these live streams, and I don't have much time left to finish the art that I began months ago. And as an artist, it's a bit discouraging that so many great artists have had their art, let's say, stolen by these platforms, which at the same time I have a conflict of interest, of course, because I have benefited greatly from platforms like Midjourney, creating memes for Meghan and Harry, that we will be talking about them today as well. And speaking of the UK, today the UK government announced a proposal to change copyright law for the benefit of AI companies that would cause huge, irreversible harm to creators. We have, this is like an understatement. This is an understatement in the sense that when we say that AI is going to upend so many things, it's going to disrupt so many things with our lives, not only with work, art, and everything else, and being productive. Not going to lie, there are many constructive uses for AI. But what if there's copyrighted work, and you have copyrighted work, and you don't have the right anymore if you're based in the UK, or your work is hosted in the UK, or what you have created somehow is related to the UK, and then third parties have rights to just use it to train AIs and make AIs be able to reproduce your style of content. It could be any kind of content. Could be speaking, could be your style of writing, your style of humor, satire, drawing, painting, music, everything. That is really concerning. And that's why it's so important to create these communities and create our community, so you know that you're talking to an actual human being and not an AI. Ewan Morrison, I've been following Ewan. Even I don't know how to pronounce his name, by the way. Let me just how do you pronounce this? Ewan. That's the way to pronounce, according to Youglish, Ewan. Just make sure that you correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I've been following Ewan for like 2 days or something. He did a very good piece about how is the actual stuff regarding AI, which is really concerning for artists. Dear friends who are creatives, we have to write to our MPs, this is in the UK, and write also to the consultation on AI and copyright. Today, the UK government announced a proposal to change copyright law for the benefit of AI companies that would cause huge, irreversible harm to creators. Thanks to Ed for posting this instructions on what we have to do below. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is happening. I mean, it's just a huge conflict that I have. You know that I'm an accelerationist. I'm an accelerationist and I'm an artist at the same time. The issue is that, because it is an issue, is that I am not an artist anymore. I don't make money as an artist. I don't make a living as an artist right now. So I could say, oh yeah, go ahead, let's go all the way with AI, let's see what happens. But one thing is the AI that is helping us have cars that drive themselves, which is good. Imagine that you have that every single car on the road is communicating with each other, no matter what brand are those, and road accidents become a thing of the past. That would be just amazing for humanity. That's one thing. But in the creation, we are creators, and I have touched that topic many times, in which we are creators. We create at heart. Human beings, we are creators. And what if the act of creation becomes something like not a thing of the past? I wouldn't say that it's a thing of the past, but we will keep on creating. But what if there's so much slop out there? What if there's so much slop out there that I don't know. It's a big question. Maybe we can address this at the end of the. I can read Ewan's article at the end of this. So many of you complimenting. ¿Qué pasa, Jesus Nation? So many of you complimenting my combination today. Yeah, the gold tie is magical. The gold tie is magical. If you like the gold tie, hit like and subscribe, no matter which platform you're watching. And we need to talk about this. We need to talk about Biden, we need to talk about the scammer in chief. Scammer in chief. How would you summarize Joe Biden in one word? We have this. Biden paid Reuters 300 million for targeting Elon's companies. What is this about? Why did they target Elon's companies? Again, I'm going to tell you, it's a very, very easy reason why this happens. Is because Elon makes the government look bad. I mean, any government. Elon makes any government look bad. Because, well, the guy is a massive cost cutter. That is one thing. He's obsessed with being effective at go to market, that give people what they want. They really want. Sometimes people don't know what they want, but he knows what people want. And he has done and disrupted so many industries, like the space industry, and is making NASA look bad. He's making all these other companies, all these car manufacturers look bad with Tesla. And the government doesn't like that. The government doesn't like that. Oh, we're looking bad because this guy is so good at everything that he does. We need to smear him in some way or another. We need to smear him in any way or another. But paying 300 million, that is taxpayer money. That comes from somewhere. That comes from your pocket, my lovely American friends, from your pocket. Government contracts to Reuters while 11 federal agencies investigated Elon's businesses, Tesla, SpaceX, and of course, X. During this time, Reuters received millions from these agencies and won a Pulitzer Prize for reporting on misconduct at Elon's companies. Where did that go? Where did that go? Nowhere. This means that taxpayer dollars funded media attacks on Elon. It's a coordinated effort to undermine one of America's most innovative leaders. Elon keeps building. They keep scheming. We're talking about creation. And yes, Elon is, top-notch creator in this case. And we have the numbers provided by Mike Benz. If you haven't followed Mike Benz on X, I strongly encourage you. And of course, follow me as well. You can find the link in the description of this video. But it's not only Reuters, it's also Politico. I'm sure millions in federal contracts to prop up profit losses for this media group doesn't sway coverage at all. When did this start? Under Biden. There's this huge scheme that is about to explode in all these media companies that want to make it seem like they are fact checkers, that they are fair, that they make sure to see both sides of every story. Did they try to, bring all this information to the people to combat misinformation? But how can you combat misinformation when there is a huge conflict of interest on where you get your fundings from? And your fundings come from the government that you should be investigating. And of course, it's like the dynamics of Big Pharma with these media companies as well. If Big Pharma is their main client, if Big Pharma spends, if the budgets of these media companies, 70% of this budget is paid for Big Pharma, for the drug industry, then, not the drug cartels, but you know what I mean about that, what I mean by that, then how are they going to truly investigate Big Pharma? They won't. If Biden spends 300 million to the tune of 300 million on these people, how can they are going to truly investigate the government? They won't. Then we come on X or Rumble And sometimes on YouTube, because you know that you can do things right on YouTube. I have been doing things right on YouTube, even if YouTube doesn't like conservative channels. I think that I have thrived. You have seen that my numbers have improved, even if I'm consider myself a conservative. I am not a lukewarm centrist. You know how it is. This is not the time. It would be great that this was the, I don't know, the 80s, and you can call yourself a centrist. Oh, I'm just a centrist. I'm not one or the other. Good for you. This is not the time for that. Either you are one of us or you are against us. It's that simple. It's that simple. We can, of course, have a nuanced approach to many topics, but you know that the Democrats and libtards are not going to be lukewarm at all. So you get the idea. You get the idea of this. We find back, and they say that on X, now it has become this conservative nucleus, a source, that it's unbearable. So they have flocked to pedo sky or blue sky. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the problem with these people that cannot tolerate any sort of criticism. And of course, it's not only that they pay Reuters to smear Elon Musk, that they pay Reuters so Reuters doesn't speak ill of Biden's government. That is important as well. They just look the other way when something happens. All that is connected, and all that is the reason why these platforms have destroyed their own credibility. They have only themselves to blame, and that is the beautiful thing. Nobody has been forced to do anything here. They have done this to themselves. It's that easy. Oh yeah, we accepted this money. We accepted not criticizing the government. We thought that this government was going to continue with a second term, maybe with Biden, maybe with Kamala. We're going to help prop up Kamala with this 2.5 billion or whatever was the number. I really don't care how much money they spend on that. But we're going to be talking about Kamala as well. But it all boils down to envy. The envy that Elon Musk is doing and building and making sure to create something that we can actually use. We can actually use. You said it well, Becky. Venezuelans can't be tibios. We cannot be lukewarm. We know it very well. Oh yeah, maybe we can form a government of all Venezuelans together. No. Socialists should be ostracized. Socialists should be marginalized. Socialists and communists should be, let's say, bullied into obscurity. Sent to the corner. It's that simple. It's that we can live together, but we need to bully them into they realizing that they don't have original ideas, that they don't have viable ideas, that they don't have common sense, that they cannot rule a country without tearing it down to pieces. And don't get me started with Justin Trudeau. Don't get me started with Justin Trudeau. And that is going to be enough talking about Biden for today. I still want to know what do you think about this? What do you think about this? All this stuff that we are seeing, and we're about to talk about Speaker Johnson as well. Speaker Johnson as well. But I want to know what do you think about this in the chat. Common sense. We need that common sense, which is so precious nowadays. That is has been lost. It's like a lost art form. Has been lost. Let me fix my screen for a minute before we move into the next one. How many of you watch my show or listen to my show on Spotify? I know that I've seen that I have 100 reproductions in there already, which is quite a lot because, well, I used to have 0. Let's move on to the next. Let's talk about Kamala, by the way. So talk about Kamala this time. And we need to talk about Kamala why do we need to talk about Kamala? We need to talk about Kamala because she used the horrific Christian school shooting in Wisconsin yesterday to call for gun control. And I don't know about you. I'm sure that many of my lovely body language buddies are with the Second Amendment of the United States. You like your guns. You don't want your guns taken away. I understand why you don't want even your guns registered in any kind of spreadsheet managed by the government, so they don't know how many guns do you have. That should be something private to you. And Kamala, which, by the way, looks a bit, should I say, effed up. I don't like to talk about people's appearance, but Kamala, it has been hard days. Maybe she could retire after this. I don't think that she's going to have what it takes in 2028. That is too bad, because I'm sure that so many people, 75 million to be exact, would like a second round. And as for me, I would like to see her. Right now, oh my God, no, she's looking really bad. But let's listen. Let's try to not look at her and listen to what she is about to say about this.
Look, as we hold our loved ones close this holiday season, we as a nation must renew our commitment to end the horror of gun violence, both mass shootings and everyday gun violence.
Yeah, she's absolutely sloshed. She's 100% sloshed. You see that she's, she didn't have that slow speech like 10 or 20 years ago. And sometimes in the campaign, she used to speak in a proper way. But in some, in some rallies, she began to talk in this cadence that it's like you are slowed down. This is not slowed down. When something is slowed down, I make sure to tell you this has been slowed down. This hasn't. I don't know who she was talking to, but this is the second part.
That touches so many communities in our nation. We must end it, and we must be committed to have the courage to know that solutions are in hand, but we need elected leaders to have the courage to step up.
Okay, step up. Elected leaders, you are not one of them, by the way. But let's talk about gun control. The fallacy that only having guns is the road to have violence. We can always talk about Switzerland. Oh, there goes Jesus with Switzerland again. What is Jesus with Switzerland? What does Jesus have with Switzerland? What two things? Cheese and chocolate. I think that's more than enough. More than enough. But besides that, there are a lot of guns in Switzerland. What Switzerland doesn't have is a mental health crisis. And this is a topic that we should be talking about. Okay? We have a mental health crisis in the United States. The shootings come from that mental health crisis, from a family crisis, from a society crisis, from a community crisis. All of that is important to address. So I remember, by the way, when in Trump's first term, I remember that there was this discussion about bump stocks. And I said, what, those are trading stocks? What kind of stocks are those? And I didn't understand the concept. Oh, yeah, bump stocks, something that you add to a handgun so you can make the handgun automatic. Switzerland has this CERN. Yeah, but that is not a weapon yet. I remember the bump stocks. That was interesting, an interesting discussion. Oh, Trump took our bump stocks away. But if you don't know, it's this kind of devices. It's a very simple device that converts any semi-automatic gun into a fully automatic gun, which is, of course, a bit wild, right? So in that case, people said, oh, Trump is going to take our guns as well. No. I think that is the right of Americans to have. And I think that it's a great right. I always remember that one of the things that led to our downfall in Venezuela is that we handed our guns to the government in 2012. Okay, there's no way you can defend yourself from the government if you don't have guns. Oh yeah, and everybody and all these politicians and all the National Assembly in Venezuela were okay with that. That was just wild. That's not something that should happen. And this is the fallacy that these politicians like Kamala Harris are going to try to use over and over again. There are mass shootings. It's the gun. There's this quote that people say sometimes: guns don't kill people. People kill people. That is actually true. But so many American citizens that own more than one gun, maybe they own more than 10 guns and nothing happens. They're law-abiding citizens. Maybe they need it for their ranch. Maybe they need that for personal defense. It's okay. Everybody should have the right to own guns, and if you misuse guns, then you should be punished by law. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Why do you make it complicated? Because they want to take your guns away from you, as they want to take your free speech away from you. They don't want you criticizing the government. They don't want you having to show your ID when you're going to vote. You need your ID for many things, but no, we don't need to pass that law. I certainly hope Trump hasn't talked about that. Let's say that there are other priorities, of course, the border, the spending, but remember that 19th point in his policies, in his campaign, was securing U.S. elections. It's important, critical, to make elections secure by using only paper ballots, on same-day voting, making it a national holiday, and making sure that California counts the goddamn votes on the same day. Because, well, if any other country, if India can count all their votes in one day, then California can effing do it. Effing do it. Never bring a machete to a gunfight. Well, what if it's two machetes? What if it's two of them? CW. Have you thought about that? Maybe two machetes? No, but you can. No, I'm watching too many Marvel movies. Okay. So many ways our government trying to make us powerless. That is on point, Peg. That is on point. Governments want to make people powerless either by taxing them into oblivion, or taking your guns away, or taking your free speech away, or having a two-tier justice system, or making you afraid of standing up for what's right. That is the scheme, and the idea is to hold these governments accountable. I sincerely hope that Trump makes sure to make elections as secure as possible, because that is like a domino effect. Like the transparency that the spending, we're going to be talking about spending right now, and especially how people are encouraged to vote because they know that their vote not only counts, but if the politicians F up, either on purpose or by omission or whatever, well, they can be held accountable. But I would love to know, what do you think about this in the comments? Let me highlight your live chat. I move on to the next topic, which has to do with that Speaker Johnson. Well, Speaker Johnson we have a big trouble with Speaker Mike Johnson right now. Some of you, YouTube is very strict. Emily Joe, YouTube is quite strict with comments. Mike Johnson is a rhino. Always been it is to go as Trump takes office. Just like what's going on with the drones, it's incredible. All the things that we have heard from the drones. We have 30 seconds of a press conference of the Pentagon talking about the drones, or not talking about the drones because they don't really want to talk about that. Samantha, I feel like this election taught everyone the importance of voting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very true. I have an 80-year-old nephew who plays Fortnite, talks about killing people all the time. I find it to be very creepy and sad. I think that the video game discussion that goes all the way to the Doom days on 1990, not only 1992, well, 1992 when Wolfenstein 3D was released, but Doom was a big explosion in 1993. And in fact, it was, I remember that it was a big part of the Columbine shooting, in which the shooters of Columbine were avid players of Doom, and they had even designed a level that looked like the school, like to practice what they were going to do. This is quite unsettling, but yes, but the problem is that the actual connection between video games and violence hasn't been proven directly. If that was so, well, I would be a real life killing machine. I have killed, I don't know, between soldiers, demons, aliens, maybe 2 million, 3 million beings. I've been like an exaggeration. Shiv Churan, super chat, thank you. India counts all its votes on the same day because we use voting machines. Most time those machines are rigged anyway. Oh, I thought that you have paper ballots. Then we need to. Thank you, Shiv, for that insight. I thought that you had paper ballots. Paper ballots are the way to go. In Argentina, it's my understanding that they only could elect Milei just because they use paper ballots. That is important. Yeah, I am not a child, Veronica. You're right. And when I was a child, maybe the violent games that I played were just little sticks running around. You're so right with that. The way a child's mind is modeled nowadays, family has a lot to do with that. Family has a lot to do with that. So if you destroy the family, which is part of the plan of the globalists, then everything else will fall apart. And no matter how much you prevent your kids from playing video games, which, by the way, I could talk about video games as well. I could talk about video games as well, of any kind, especially the violent ones, which could be my favorite. But let me fix something in here so we can talk about common sense and moral standards. That's what we need. So let's talk about Speaker Mike Johnson. What's this guy trending? Why is this happening? Why do these people wait until last minute to put out a 1,500 document? 1,500 page document. 1,500 page document to be read, discussed, and approved before Friday in 48 hours. How is this humanly possible? How is this humanly possible? Speaker Mike Johnson is wasting no time stabbing Trump in the back as Congress works to ram through a secretive $50 billion spending bill filled with favors before Trump takes office. The bill includes funding from preparations against Disease X, and research into medical countermeasures for unidentified viruses with significant pandemic potential. So, you're spending money on something that hasn't happened yet. Can you, I don't know, have some kind of an emergency fund that you can use for, any natural disaster? Maybe like in North Carolina, what happened in North Carolina, or maybe a virus. Maybe you have something that can be a Swiss Army knife. Again, Jesus with Switzerland. What do we have with Switzerland? What kind of obsession do I have? But this is the document. This is the document. How do you expect people to read this? In what? 36 hours. 48 hours. I don't know how much. It's like 72 hours. It was 1,500 pages. It wasn't purpose. This was discussed already since September, and they waited until 2 days from the House going on, on holidays to try to pass it. Yeah, the old strategy, but we have Vivek Ramaswamy to read it. I guess that he's a fast reader, or maybe some people were suggesting, I think it was Cernovich, why don't you upload that like by sections, in 15 sections to ChatGPT or Grok on X? That is a good idea. That's what these AI tools can work. Okay, that's something that these AI tools are very good at, like crunching vast amount of documents and summarizing them. That's something that we can say, okay, these tools work very good for that. So I wanted to read the full 1,500-page bill and speak with key leaders before forming an opinion. Having done that, he did. He read all that. Here's my view. It's full of excessive spending, special interests, giveaways, and pork barrel politics. If Congress wants to get serious about government efficiency, they should vote no. Keeping the government open until March 14 will cost $380 billion with a B by itself. But the true cost of this omnibus CR is far greater due to new spending. Renewing the Farm Bill for an extra year, $130 billion with a B. Disaster relief, $100 billion with a B. Stimulus for farmers, $10 billion. The Francis Scott Key Bridge replacement, $8 billion. The proposal adds at least 65 cents of new spending for every dollar of continued discretionary spending. 65 cents for every dollar added. That is well, yeah, it's essentially 65% more, which is a lot. The legislation will end up hurting many of the people it purports to help. Debt fuel spending sprees, may feel good today, but it's like showering cocaine on an addict. It's not compassion. I think that Hunter can relate. It's cruelty. Farmers will see more land sold to foreign buyers when taxes inevitably rise to meet our obligations, just like it's happening in the UK with the farmers' tax. Our children will be saddled with crippling debt. Interest payments will be the largest item in our national budget. This is going to be a mess. Congress, Vivek continues, has known about this deadline since they created it in late September. There's no reason why this couldn't have gone through the standard process instead of being rushed to a vote right before congressmen want to go home for the holidays. The urgency is 100% manufactured and designed to avoid serious public debate. And who is going to read 1,500 pages? Who is going to read 1,500 pages? Well, Vivek, for one. The bill could have easily been under 20 pages. Instead, there are dozens of unrelated policy items crammed into the 1,547 pages of this bill. There's no legitimate reason for them to be voted on as a package deal by a lame duck Congress. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response policy, renewal of the much criticized Global Engagement Center, a key player in the federal censorship state. What? 17 different pieces of commerce legislation, paving the way for a new football stadium in D.C., a pay raise for congressmen, of course, and senators, and making them eligible for federal employee health benefits. So that must be on page 1. Is it defensible to ram these measures through at the last second without debate? We're grateful for Dodge's warm reception on Capitol Hill. Nearly everyone agrees that we need a smaller and more streamlined federal government, but actions speak louder than words. This is an early test. The bill should fail. Yeah, this is a completely unacceptable, and this was on purpose. And you know that Thomas Massey tweeted, "People call me Nostradamus for accurately predicting that Speaker Johnson would use the Christmas recess to force a massive spending bill through Congress." And what did Speaker Johnson say on September?
We have broken the Christmas omni, and I have no intention of going back to that terrible tradition. So there won't be a Christmas omnibus. As somebody asked me in the hallway a little while ago, will there be many buses? We don't want any buses. We're not going to do any buses, okay? Oh,
yeah, but now Speaker Johnson has responded to Elon and Vivek's criticisms of the spending bill. Let's hear it from the guy himself. This guy, no. I never really liked him. I'm going to say, I never really understood why the guy was around at every time that Trump was, he was near Trump, was Trump at that meeting, at that, on his plane and all this. I don't know, it's rubs me the wrong way.
We have a choice. We have to fund those. We have to fund FEMA. We have to fund our farmers.
Right. And Mr. Speaker, it's not.
Say this way.
Not just so you've got a bunch of Republicans who are angry at you. They don't like this. And just in a couple of weeks, you're going to stand once again to run for Speaker of the House. And you don't need a bunch of Democrats mad at you. But and this is breaking news you do not know. You know who also does not like this? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, just tweeted this bill should not pass.
Well, missed opportunity to not include the mandatory Gandalf meme, Gandalf with the Balrog meme. But, well, maybe he was in a rush.
The only way you're going to be able to pass it now, Mr. Speaker, is with Democrats. If you could, what's your message to Elon Musk?
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together. And I was explaining to them the background of this. And Vivek and I talked last night about almost midnight. And he said, look, I get it. He said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans. So any bill has to have Democrat votes. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either. We got to get this done because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks, and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda.
Well, how are you helping Trump? How are you helping Trump if you're spending, you're setting up everything to spend more? As in, how you take that back once Trump is in office? Like you're rushing to do this just to appease some Democrats, and it just signals that you are effectively a rhino, a Republican in name only. Like you're not a true Republican. It's just a facade.
That's what we're going to run with gusto beginning January 3rd when we start the new Congress, when Republicans, again, are in control. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens, and that's the problem. So we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start, and we can't wait to get there.
Well, I don't know about you, but this last minute fourth decision that they don't sit well with me. They don't sit well with me. And Paul Cipula says the same. I speak for all MAGA when I say that we'd rather you legally shut down the government than push forward the 1,500-page CR. We voted for change. This stack of papers is anything but. This is on point. Shut it down. Shut it down. That is the thing, because the other way, the other option is compromising. It's compromising with Democrats. And you know what it is when you compromise with people that come in bad faith. People that come in bad faith, you cannot compromise with them. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I don't know if Trump has tweeted about this or shared something in Truth Social. Maybe we can check it out. But I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. So let's highlight the chat right now. Highlight the chat. Don't they have computers? They have computers, but you know that computers don't read the thing for themselves. Unless you use ChatGPT. You use ChatGPT to break it down. But even so, someone did exactly that. They use ChatGPT to break down the that stuff. And they had to break it into 15 parts because you know that these tools cannot read more than, I don't know, like 100 pages at a time. It's not like they can read an entire book. You could do it if you have your own AI set up at home, which requires some kind of technical abilities. And he wants a foot in both camps. You're right, Jenny. You're right about that. He wants a foot in both camps. It's like he wants to be, como digamos en español, que está bien con Dios y con el diablo. He wants to be nice with both God and the devil. You see which other? I need to make sure that I spot whatever is happening. Just in case. I have this speech right at the beginning of right at the beginning. One of my trusty assistants sent me this. I hate to be, let's say, a bit of a pessimist with this kind of stuff, but I need to report that. Now that we have it, let's try to read it and make sense of this. Okay, let's see if I can. Oh, it's about Louisiana. Louisiana. CW, aren't you from Louisiana? We're going to be talking about Louisiana, and it's not good news. It is not good news. So, the not so good news. The not so good news. The not so good news is breaking. CDC confirms first severe case of H5N1 bird flu in the United States. And it was in Louisiana. We had a report right in here. And it's from a patient in Louisiana has been hospitalized with severe infection of avian influenza, marking the first serious human case in the United States. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, announced Wednesday. How is it possible? I don't understand how the timing of this works. How all this timing works that Speaker Johnson was talking about, you know what, we need to include this kind of, provision in this 1,500-page budget bill, in which one of the most important parts is for disease X in case something happens. And then this pops up, like how many days? How many days to, I think 33 days to inauguration. I really trust the CDC. We don't know. What can we do? Do we trust the CDC or we disregard this? I don't know. I remember in my video, in my Anthony Fauci video, one of the best videos I've done in this channel, go check it out. I remember that all that stuff and trying to play God with some diseases is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And I'm sure that this is part of that. I'm pretty sure that this is part of that. The case brings the total number of avian influenza infections in the United States during the current 2024 outbreak to 61. It's not that much. It's not that much, but it's better that it's not that high. It doesn't become higher. According to the CDC, the patient was exposed to sick and dead birds in backyard flocks. However, no additional details, including the individual's prognosis, have been disclosed. I don't remember how is bird flu. How is spread if they come in contact with an infected animal's body fluid like spit, milk, respiratory droplets, or poop, feces. You can breathe it from small dust particles in animal habitats. Or you can, yeah, it's basically airborne. You can breathe in, but the thing is that you get it from birds, but it is my understanding, can it be spread from human to human? That is the important part. Can a human get that from another human? My guess is not. The case was confirmed last Friday according to the CDC. Genetic sequencing revealed that the H5N1 virus in the patient belonged to the D1.1 genotype. This genotype was recently being detected in wild birds and poultry in the United States and in human cases reported in Washington State and Canada's British Columbia province. The first from the B313 genotype, which has been identified in dairy cows, some poultry outbreaks, and human cases with mild symptoms such as conjunctivitis. Can bird flu, let me look for perplexity, make sure if it's can bird flu be spread from human to human? The typing, ASMR typing. Affects birds and rare cases it can infect humans. While human-to-human transmission of bird flu is possible, it is extremely rare and has not led to sustained spread among people. Oh, thank God. A handful of use cases have had no known animal source of infection, but health authorities say there is still not enough evidence to suggest human-to-human transmission. Well, yes, the gain of function. I remember that in that video I spoke that some scientists were, really happy that they could create this virus that was usually only, I think it was swine flu, and it couldn't spread to humans, but they, I don't remember, there was this experiment that they did in which they created something that did not exist in nature and something that you don't want it to appear in nature. You don't want it to happen in nature. And if it happens in nature, well, tough luck. We all go final destination and we try to do the best of what we can in the event that happens. But it's so absurd to provoke this kind of stuff. I smell Chinese sabotage of our farms. If these people want to make it seem that they don't know about the drones, how can we be sure that they're not trying to do something with the poultry as well, with the birds? This case underscores that in addition to affected commercial poultry and dairy operations, wild birds and backyard flocks also can be a source of exposure, the CDC said. So maybe they are going to tell you, okay, so don't go to parks, don't go anywhere near nature. Let's bring some more anxiety to the table and make sure that everybody stays inside their homes safe and away from those pesky birds, and so that way you will not get anything. Yeah, the gain of function thing. Despite this development, the CDC continues to estimate the risk to the general public is low. A multi-state outbreak of the flu, technically the highly pathogenic avian influenza or H5N1 bird flu, was first reported in March in dairy cows. The rising frequency and diversity of mammalian infections in recent years have heightened concerns about the virus adaptability and its potential for cross-species transmission. That would be zoonosis. That would be zoonosis, being able to transmit between species, which is not an easy feat. Especially even if viruses, depending on the kind of virus, they can mutate quite quickly. Didn't you? How many of you played Plague? Have you played? I have played. I don't only like violent video games. I also like strategy video games, and one of my favorite one is Plague. Did you play Plague at some point? I remember that I became virus and parasite and bacteria curious, and playing that game and all the possibilities and all the ways that something could spread, and afterwards, years after we have had COVID, and from a scientific perspective, it's fascinating how this can happen so quickly. But at the same time, is that we have this kind of order. We have this, Plague Incorporated. That is the full name of the game. It's still on the app stores. Great game, by the way. It's like you have this balance in nature in which I don't think that we could reach this stage of, the world in both humans and animals. Maybe it's not the harmony that so many people want. The harmony will never be attained because, this is we either eat them or they eat us. It's that simple. That has been like that from the beginning of civilization, the beginning of humankind. Maybe you are vegan. I respect that. I have no problem whatsoever. But yeah, the thing with animals is that these viruses and these parasites and these bacteria, it depends on how they mutate, the mutations. And the gain of function is a forced mutation of especially viruses, because viruses are the easiest to provoke this kind of stuff. Are the, let's say, the easiest agents of disease in terms of mutation. So they are the easiest to experiment on. It is my limited understanding of the topic. So, but I don't think that we should be experimenting on that at all. If something happens in nature, then, let's deal with that. But let's not be playing and fooling around with this. It's great, of course, when we can eradicate diseases and just make them disappear. And but even so, I think that there's so many things that we could focus on our energy. I would love to know what should we focus our energy instead of making super viruses, instead of making super diseases like out of the blue. Why should we be doing that? Making that kind of crazy stuff. I think that it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be happening. Some people are pro gain of function, but I don't think we have. The problem is that biolabs don't have the level of scrutiny like nuclear reactors. That is the problem. That is the issue. Biolabs don't, even level 4 biolabs don't have the level of scrutiny and the level of detail and security of current nuclear reactors, which is exaggerated for obvious reasons. But if biolabs had that level of scrutiny and security, maybe I could consider that, but they don't have it. Livestock. A few years back, they were proud that they merged Ebola and rabies together using CRISPR. I understand your handle, your name now, Ozark Prepper. I understand why you are an Ozark Prepper. I read those headlines, and yes, I would like to have a bunker to, I don't know why, an abandoned nuclear reactor, an abandoned nuclear silo to build my super villain lair, have a bunker there, and have everything to protect and isolate myself from the world. Mega bat cave. Even with extreme measures, can doesn't always mean should. Spot on, Bobcat. You're spot on. It's easy to detect radiation, not so easy to detect if something has caught a virus until the symptoms start. Very good observation, AIO. Very good observation, because we can detect radiation even from space. We also have the reports that those drones in New Jersey are trying to detect some kind of radiation. which is crazy in itself. But we also have words from the Pentagon. Where are my words from the Pentagon? The Pentagon had this. Let's talk about the Pentagon, who still won't. For this. Let's talk about the Pentagon, who still won't acknowledge. Let me fix my screen here. Won't acknowledge where the money has gone. They have so much money, but they won't acknowledge where that money has gone. Oh, wait, we don't want to do this. And now, Pentagon press secretary declines to say why today's CIA and FBI drone briefing from the House for the House Intelligence Committee was classified. Why is it classified? Why? What are they hiding from us? I'd have to refer you to Congress. And what do I do? Do I go to Congress? Do I knock on the door there? How does that work exactly? What do I do with that advice? That would be interesting. Let me see. I was looking at his body language, and he was quite. Let's say that he was quite. He was trying to measure his words. We're going to put the volume higher in this one.
Just why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones? They're not military drones.
You remember that we were talking about that they said in this conjunct statement from the Department of Defense, of Department of Homeland Security, CIA and FBI. Oh no, there are 1 million drones in the United States, and many of those are from hobbyists. Some of them are civilians. Some of them are reconnaissance. Oh, there's no big deal. New Jersey being full of drones. Why are you asking? But if there's no problem, if they're just civilian drones, if there's just another day at drone land, which could be the USA called, according to these people, if this is just another day at drone land, then why classify their findings? It's all a distraction, but we don't know what are they distraction for.
Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Again, sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have.
Sharing as much information as we can here, but that means sharing no information at all, which is not helpful at all. And I don't know why do they offer a press conference. Why would you offer a press conference if you're not going to say anything about the drones? Let's offer a press conference about the topic on drones, but the moment that you ask questions about why some of that information is classified, and there's not an actual answer, how does that work? That doesn't work like that. That is unfair. And then
the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not.
We don't know what aspects are classified or not. You know that you could, as the same way that you can print 1,500 pages, and print 1,500 pages is quite a lot. I mean, they must have like industrial grade printers. You can also print the parts that are not classified and bring them to the press conference and have them in your hand. So the moment they ask you the questions, okay, these are the parts that are not classified. These are the parts that I can talk about. But saying that you don't know which parts are classified and which are not, it's complete incompetence. Or they are trying to play with people. They are trying to hide. They're trying to hide where the money is and what they've done with their deadbeat cheating husband. They've been cheating the citizens for years. This is true, Becky. The Pentagon has spent so many billions in what? We still don't know, because they haven't passed an audit in years. But this is the thing. I would like to show you this. I'm going to do some kind of meta in here, but not meta from Zuckerberg. Meta in the sense that I want to show you the way that his voice is lower. It's lower in the second part, and goes lower. How can I show you that? Very easy. I make a screenshot of this and I show you this, what I'm seeing at. This, what you're seeing here is the waveform of his voice. And as he's speaking, you see that, okay, there's some stress in this section, and then his voice lowers. As a lower, it's very easy. This is not measured by our headphones or our speakers. This is visually measured, and you can see it here. There's no way around that. What does he say when he lowers his voice? I don't have the briefing in front of me. Yeah, you have reporters and journalists in front of you asking for information, and he makes sure to look down or avoid eye contact, and he puts his palms up. We're going to make sure to maybe take the subtitles out of the way for a second. He puts his palms up. I don't have the briefing in front of me. Okay, yeah, there's the invisible briefing. It doesn't exist. Because he's lying, probably, boutique moths. Because he's lying, probably. He just wants to be there. Let's do a press conference, but let's hope that these people don't ask actual questions. And as I'm answering these questions, I'm going to be lowering the volume of my voice because I don't really want to be here. So what is this?
Why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones? They're not military drones. Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I don't. I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Again,
it's like, yeah, he actually, he's completely lost. He looks down, he closes his eyes for, a long time. He presses his lips. I have no idea what to tell you. I have no information of that. He does the gesture in his hands like, you know what? I'm out. He almost storms out.
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Again,
He does that gesture with his hands. First, his hands are quite close to one another, and he suddenly just takes them to his sides like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. Don't ask these questions. I don't have the information. I know. We are trying to share as much as we can, and that's when, maybe I can show you here. I can show you here the waveform itself. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. Show you here the waveform. You can see it right here in the lower part of your screen.
Sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not.
I can tell you specifically what aspects are classified or not. That's when he lowers his voice, and he keeps his voice low the rest of his statement.
I can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can based on what we know.
Based on what we know. And the last part, this is important. I've always told you this, that this is critical. The moment that somebody stops speaking, they're going to do something with their mouth or their eyes. In this case, he looks away and presses his lips right after saying that we are trying to say as much as we can. And he keeps a close gesture with his hands, one over the other. Like, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm going to play that last part because it's interesting from a body language perspective. So you can see it. I
can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can based on what we know.
Based on what we know, and that's his final body language. What do you think about this? Is this a distraction? Is this some kind of we're trying to hide something? We're trying to not tell people something. We are trying to scare people into something. We want to create paranoia. What is that? Their hands are flailing. His hands are flailing because the body cannot handle this stress. Yeah, in this case, it's, you can't handle the truth. No, you can't handle the stress. He looks like he's struggling with the deception. Yeah, as well. Yeah, the awkward inflection and the last part. We can see it. You don't need a spectrum analyzer to see that his voice was all over the place. All over the place, like my tie pin. And thank you for your compliments on my golden tie. The man on the golden tie. But I need to know what do you think about this in the comments. Let me highlight the live chat. Once I highlight the live chat, we are ready for the next. Okay, Rick Scott. Rick Scott chimed in on the 1500 page. Rick Scott, Senator Rick Scott, we got the 1500 page, not so clean. See her late last night. There's no way anyone is reading this whole thing that quickly. It's longer than the average Bible, for goodness sake. This is the same tired trick Washington uses repeatedly to force reckless spending and wasteful government programs through Congress, forcing us to vote on bills before we even know what's in them. It has to stop. And Speaker Johnson can't tell us that it is not the same tired strategy of always. Oh, yeah, no, I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do with that. That my tie is a bit, it should be hiding the other part. This is, what? Yeah, just say no. Get Joe Passy to question him. They stopped reading the bills they signed long ago. It's my guess as well. Saltzilla. It's my guess as well. We have another topic today. A couple other topics. We need to talk about Harry and Meghan as well. Harry and Meghan are in the menu today, boys and girls. We have Harry and Meghan on the menu as well. But first, we need to talk about Disney. We need to talk about Disney. And Disney is in trouble. Let's talk about, oh my God, Jesus is going to be talking about Disney. This is like 3-hour live stream. You know that whenever I talk about Disney, we take some time. This is going to be sweet and short. Well, how about that? Shared by Gary from Nerdrotic. When it comes to animated content, what is happening? Disney pulls transgender storyline from Win or Lose Pixar series. Well, I haven't caught up with Disney Plus lately. You know that I'm basically dedicated for my show. And I try to keep an eye on the news of popular culture, and Disney is a big part of pop culture, and we realize that these people haven't learned the lesson. They haven't learned the lesson that how they are driving the Star Wars franchise to the ground, which hit a new low with the Acolyte. It was perhaps the worst that they have put out in the Star Wars. You remember that Disney owns Star Wars, Disney owns Pixar, Disney owns Marvel as well. How are those brands doing? We're expecting Captain America 4, Brave New World, or whatever it's called, to flop as well. That's like 7 movies in one for $400 million. And now the problem is that the DEI got to them, the whole woke stuff. We know that they have fired many people. They have let go many people. Many people have resigned. But the problem is that the projects that these people make in any of these franchises, not franchises, any of these companies like Star Wars or Marvel, they take years. So it might take 4 or 5 years until we see an actual change of Disney doing the right thing. When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. Disney, you should have thought about this like 20 years ago. Why would you, in a children's story, because we know, sadly, I have to say, what was the the last Pixar? I want to run some kind of poll in the live chat right now. What was the last Pixar movie that you really liked, that you really loved? There are two Pixar movies that I will have forever in my heart. One is The Incredibles, the first one, directed by Brad Bird. Amazing movie about family. And Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a quintessential Pixar movie. Ratatouille is just perfect. For me, it's a perfect picture. It's most people will say like, oh, okay, the Toy Story saga, but Toy Story got a bit tiring with the fourth part. Even when they were going to do Toy Story 3, it was not a good idea, in my opinion. It came out real good. It was was an actual conclusion to the story. So you see that they began to run out of ideas, and now they're coming with Toy Story 5. It doesn't work like that. But Ratatouille and The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, FJ, you're right, Finding Nemo. There are many great quotes, and you have to think that Pixar got Ellen DeGeneres to play a character, and the character that Ellen DeGeneres played was great. Dory the fish was great. I'm going to say it. Yeah, it was Inside Out was really good as well. Up as well. Oh my God, Up was that the scene from Up. That this are Pixar was the storytelling. How to say this? Pig storytelling. These people were geniuses. And they were, of course, led by John Lasseter. You remember what happened to John Lasseter? There were these accusations, and he basically disappeared. John Lasseter disappeared. And it's the most ironic thing is that when John Lasseter had these accusations on him, and he disappeared, basically, from Pixar and from the face of the earth. I don't know what he's doing right now, what he's up to right now. After that, then Disney went full woke, and we know what it meant. But I think parents are making a stand against this. Parents are making a stand. They're no longer supporting this stuff. And this statement, Disney's statement, is important. When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children. We don't want you pandering. We don't want you pushing any sort of agenda. It's not needed. We reject it. Even if I don't watch Disney Plus, or I don't watch Pixar movies or TV shows. Oh, and if you don't watch them, then why do you care? Well, I do care for one reason. Because the reason that we were talking about the violent video games. Because you want to disrupt what is family as the base, the nucleus of society. If you destroy that, if you destroy the family, then anything goes. And part of this is destroying the nuclear family. Call me old-fashioned, call me all what you want, but this is the truth. This is the easiest way of control. To control a society, you destroy father figures, first and foremost. When was the last time, I'm going to tell you, when was the last time you watched a movie when there was a strong father figure? And that's why I love The Incredibles so much. Because you have a strong father figure. Mr. Incredible, Bob, was so amazing. His character arc, he wanted to go back to the old days. He wanted to be a hero again. Then his family gets involved, and they all cooperate at the end. That movie is just amazing. You start by destroying father figures. That is the most important. When was the last time you saw any kind of movie or a TV show when there was a strong father figure leading the way. Sometimes you can have a father that is not up to the task, that is trying to avoid things, and then finally he decides to step up in what he has to do, and it works. But sometimes the messaging, yeah, Kim Abel, you're on point. Miss the old Disney movies. The newer movie messaging is toxic. Toxic is just an understatement. Toxic is just an understatement. We must stay vigilant to what children are being taught. And that is so difficult, Joyce Law, because especially if children, this is important. Children should not have access to the internet, unfettered or unmanaged access to the internet. This is very important because they can be corrupted, they can be in danger in so many ways. And this cannot be overstated. Children have to be protected from the internet. Boys and girls need a strong father figure. I'm not saying, of course, this is not implying, but I raise my boy or my daughter on my own. There are a lot of very brave single mothers out there, but it is undeniable that society needs families that are in many ways complete, and it's sad. I know way too many examples in which things turn out well, but society needs parents, and parents in the sense that both responsible mothers and fathers for it to work. And if you don't have a father, maybe you don't have a father, okay? Maybe your father was a jerk, but you can have a father figure. You say, okay, I can have a father figure. And that father figure, it would be nice if that said father figure is not this alpha males on the internet that brag about so many stupid things and they are not really masculine. And that is the problem. That all that has been happening with woke culture has propelled the rise of this alpha male examples that are like the other extreme, this red pill alpha males. Okay, this is on point, Ann Walter. This is on point. I could say so many words, but you summarize it very well. Fathers teach boys how to be men and teach girls what to expect from the men in their lives. That is spot on. The fact is, it works better if the woman stays home with kids and man works. Princess Dumbarton, I cannot believe this is a controversial take nowadays. I think this should be the right take. And many would say, but sometimes you cannot go by with a single income. And I have to say, as a man, that is a skill issue on the man. It's that simple. And I was one that was not taught this from an early age. We need to teach our boys that it's their job to protect and provide for their family, to protect and provide for their women and their children. It's that simple. But if every single boy became a man and understood this, women could relax. And I can understand that women can be paranoid, but I don't want to depend on a man because I don't know if the man at a certain point is going to dump me for a younger woman. And I can understand because many men do that precisely because they follow this advice from these red-pilled alpha males. I began talking about Pixar and Disney, but it's all connected. It's all connected in the end. Still, I think this could be a topic that we could treat on its own. Yeah, we could treat it on its own. And again, I want to know what do you think about this in the comments. Let me highlight live chat. Architects of society are also killing the value of feminine grace and its virtues. That is, oh yeah, the left hates masculinity. You're right, Salsila. They don't like masculine men. They don't like. They hate. Feminism hates the idea of, this is something I need to take my glasses off for this. This is something that I never understood. I remember, I've told you about this like 1 year ago on one live stream. I remember that this was an article on, I think it was Time magazine, like 20 years ago, in which it was about Japanese couples. They usually have one child. And it was the Japanese men that were so stressed and had to work, and the Saturday man in Japan, Saturday man culture, in which you work for a company, and usually in traditional Japan you graduated from college and then began working for a company, and ideally you work for that company your whole life. Japan, because Japan. And that article said that while the men were busting their arses at companies, women tended to the one or maybe two children they had. They could do the groceries, they clean the very small apartments, or because Japanese apartments, that they are quite small. And besides that, and children from very young age, like 5 years old, they could ride the train by themselves. Okay, that's a fact in Japan. So women had all this time to themselves to, play cards with their friends and go out to the park. And they had this leisure time. And I never understood, I'm talking that I was very young at that time. I never understood why did they paint this as something bad for the women. I was reading that. And I was like, wait, I don't get it. Women had, they have these responsibilities at home. The man is making sure to bring the bread and all stuff and pay all the bills and everything. And women have the opportunity to have time for themselves, maybe bake a cake if they want, study something if they want, have start a personal business if they want, to practice yoga, whatever, doing anything they want. And that is a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? I didn't get it back then, and I get it even less right now. I mean, that is a great life for women, and I agree with that. Because I don't know, it's the thing that is the way that I thought that things should be. And yes, of course, it is nice that a woman who loves her man can tend to her man that the moment that he finally arrives home after work. Why not? It works. It works. But no. I am not saying, and this is important, I am not saying that women cannot have a career. Women nowadays can have a career. Anybody, men or women, can have a career online. Anybody can study nowadays online. Anybody can have a business online. I have a business online. Anybody can thrive online. But not on OnlyFans, please. Don't misunderstand me. It's not that way. Not that way. But you can be anything you want. And we can have the traditional role models. And women can do all that they want in that traditional role model. But I understand. I understand the fear, the paranoia. How do I know that the guy that I fall in love with, the guy that I have a family with, is going to be a good man? How do I know that? Completely understandable. You have no idea of knowing it. You have no idea. You need to know the family. You know to have a community in which the families know each other. You're gonna say it's kind of crazy, but it's not like I'm advocating for arranged marriages, because that is quite creepy at the same time. But if one family has this principles and traditions, and this family knows this other family that has principles and traditions, maybe they are not going to arrange the marriage, but at least the families know each other, and they know if there's one boy that likes a girl and the girl likes the boy, maybe that can work, especially because they come from families that know each other, and that comes only from having very tight communities. And where do you get the tight communities? You get the tight communities from, well, the harmony that comes from being able to give everyone opportunities regardless of where you live. How does that work? Oh no, I need to go to make it, I need to go to a big city. No, it would be great if anybody could make it in any city of any given country, but that doesn't happen. It happens now because of the internet. Right now, you can be in any city of any state in any country, and you can make it big. That is a fact. But how do you change that? This is a brutal discussion. This is a lot of things that we need to address. This is a systemic issue in which you cannot see just one part of the problem, but there's a complete how to say that group of things. And I know that many red pill alpha males are going to say, oh, you sound like a simp, like you're going to, no, wait a second, because many of those alpha males, believe it or not, they have that same thinking process in which it's the man, the one who has to provide for his family. They have that, but so many of them lack the respect for the woman, which is fundamental as well. And they have, we could talk about alpha males as alpha red pill men, as in, for example, one of the most stupid takes from alpha males online is that, oh, you need to get, you need to, you don't care if the girl you're gonna marry is intelligent. You don't need to care about that. Does she look nice? Does she look? Does she has great DNA? That's all that you need. And I say, wait a second. Wait a second. You're saying that we're gonna make money, and women are going to tend to the children, right? So you want a dumb woman to raise your children up to a certain age? That's what you're saying? You don't mind that? You want her to have your children, but you don't mind if she's dumb? No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Wait a second. You need a woman who's smart, man. That doesn't. You see that these guys contradict themselves all the time, and it's fun, so fun to watch. Oh, so fun to watch, so fun to watch. Even without glasses, I can watch that now. Now I can read your comments again. Good-looking women can be smart as well, of course. Yeah, this so many that we can talk about this. Let me see. Oh my God, I got hung up in the alpha male stuff. What one topic that we need to address? One topic that we need to address. Let me rearrange here. Smart woman, smart kids. You're right, Macy. You are right. But it is time. It is time that we address the inevitability of Meghan and Harry, that they are mad at William now. They feel betrayed by William. I didn't know that Prince William owed them anything. Like, in the least. I don't think that I don't think that they know what they are dealing with. Why do they feel betrayed by William? You might be asking. And the reason that they feel betrayed by William is because of this, the encounter of William and Trump. You know, the inauguration of the Notre Dame Cathedral, that William invited Trump to the ambassador's house. This is my understanding, to the embassy, or to the embassy. I don't really know. But the fact is that William invited Trump to have a chat and to take pictures. And many people were triggered about this. And I told you, this is my question, my sincere question, because I'm going to post this on the Royal Rogue channel, on my Royal Rogue channel. Do you think William was forced into doing this? Do you think that William did this? Why did William did this? Do this? Was he forced? Was he, I don't know, blackmailed into doing this? The other question, the real question was, could he sit this one out? Could he just, not invite Trump to the ambassador's house or this meeting, whatever it took place? It could have been an option, of course. William could have said, hey, you know what? We're going to meet at the Notre Dame, but that's it. I'm not going to invite to have a chat. But William did. And I know that so many of my followers, I love every single one of you. I've told you many times, I love every single one of you. I know that so many of you don't like Trump. I understand. I understand that you might not like the guy. Maybe you know that there are so many lies about him, but you still don't like him. That's okay. That's okay. That is basically not the point why he got elected. He got elected because people really believe that he can fix the United States and he can be a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. And I'm pretty sure that William did this because, he knew that this was a great opportunity, especially to send a message. Send a message to whom? I think that this is completely my opinion. This is completely my opinion. I think he wanted to send a message to his own government. You know that the royal family cannot do many things. They don't really have a political say on pretty much anything. Okay, I have understood. I criticized them at some point. I criticized them a lot at some point. I'm very thankful for so many of my peers on X that so many of you reach out to me. Hey, Jesus, I know that you're upset of what is going to with the UK, but you need to understand that the royal family cannot really do anything about it. Since, centuries ago, they cannot do that. It's the parliament, it's the prime minister. They are the ones who can do the things. And just like, for example, the knighthood to Sadiq Khan, that is not really on King Charles. Like, he's going to give physically the knighthood to Sadiq Khan, but the decision is, let's say that his is like 10% of the decision. Who is that decision? In fact, it's Keir Starmer's, at least from what I understand. This is my understanding, okay? This is something that I try to do my own research. I also, when I realized that Sadiq Khan was going to get a knighthood, I was going to unleash on King Charles, but I said, hey, wait a second, let me do my research first. And it turns out that no, yes, he just needs to sign something that has already passed all this, especially labor, wants Sadiq Khan to have this. So what do you do if you want to send a message to your country? But I understand that William said, okay, this is the opportunity to send a message to the UK government. I'm going to send a very, or not so subtle message to the UK government, and I'm going to meet Donald Trump. I'm free to do this. But this is a message for Keir Starmer. This is a let's say a covert message to Keir Starmer. You have to fix your ways. Maybe Keir Starmer will not care. I don't think that he will care, but at least the message was sent. And this is a great message as well. And you know, the pictures spoke for themselves. But then Meghan and Harry feel betrayed, and not the Harkles trying to make William's moment with Trump about themselves. Yes, according to a source, Harry and Meghan are appalled, betrayed, and terrified because Prince William did his job by meeting with Trump, the U.S. president-elect, at an important international event. They think William should have discussed it with them first. That's hilarious. And they don't matter because, you know, Donald Trump is the president-elect of the United States. And Meghan and Harry are, you know, the symbols of the people who are now overseas in Montecito. And, well, you know that Harry is maybe in trouble, right? I don't think that Harry is actually in trouble. I don't think that he's in trouble. I don't think that he's remotely in anybody. Nobody cares. The only people that care about Harry is us, and it's because we make memes of him. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. And I'm just popping in and out. Did anyone point out Trump's tie was the same as Jesus? Yes, it was my intention. I remember that when I analyzed this picture, I used the same time. It's not the same time. His tie has some kind of pattern to it. We could talk about ties all day, but this is what happens with Harry. Nobody really cares about him. This is like a complejo de persecución. How do you say that in English? It's like he has this obsession that somebody is after him. It's like Metallica song, Frayed Ends of Sanity. That's Harry. If frayed ends of sanity hear them calling me. Harry's all these security woes and having all this security stuff. He's worried about Trump doing something about him. William is too good to ask Trump to get Harry deported. You know, I think Trump would say, you don't have to ask. I just read from your body language. You don't want. But Veronica, I don't think William wants Harry deported because that would mean Harry going back to the UK. William could actually ask Trump the opposite. Can you know, not mess up with Harry much? Because if he gets deported, he will come back to the UK, and none of us, including our father, we don't want that. No one in the United Kingdom wants that. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have reportedly been left hurt and angry after Prince William's appalling betrayal following his meeting with Donald Trump, a source has reportedly claimed. The Prince of Wales held a meeting with the U.S. president-elect in France, and of course, William was fulfilling a professional role, but Trump has been so vicious towards them, and of course, William is aware of that, so Meghan and Harry can't help but think he could have discussed it with them first. Has Trump really been vicious? What has Trump said about Meghan? I don't think that Trump at any point has said Meghan is evil or something like that. He just said that he wishes Harry good luck. I think that he wishes Harry good luck. Salsila, maybe you remember that Harry, Duke of Sausages, and Justin Trudeau are very good friends. Maybe Canada can have him. I have a lot of Canadian body language buddies. I know that you don't want Harry in Canada either. So what can you do? We just leave him alone at Montecito. Maybe William told Trump that. Leave Harry alone in Montecito. Don't bother him that much, and we will. Okay. The fact Harry can't even get William to pick up the phone is insulting enough. But now they feel very hurt and betrayed that their feelings appear not to have been taken into consideration. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, William. We also have some other developments from the Montecito house. This and things that never happen. Alex, I will take things that never happened for $200. Meghan Markle's Netflix cooking show may be axed after Prince Harry's polo documentary flopped. The Royal Rogue in the flesh, myself, I brought you this shocking news. Oh, I think it was back in May or June of this year. There was Meghan Markle herself that had canceled her own show. They don't have anything that they wrapped filming. We never get one picture behind the scenes. We got pictures behind the scenes of Polo. We got a teaser trailer of Polo. We got more information about who was going to appear on the Polo documentary than anything that Meghan was doing. And what does that tell you? Well, that confirms that what the Royal Rogue told you back in June, I think it was true. That Meghan saying that the pilot of the show was, the test audiences were not that keen on Meghan doing what she thinks she does best. And moreover, Harry doing a screen test of the cooking show and doing well with audiences when Meghan said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not doing anything. And she simply can't cook. LOL. Maybe she can cook. Maybe she just can't do the roasted chicken and that's it. But she decided to just call that off. Not going to do any cooking show. I cannot control everything. I don't have any guests. That's another thing. And the chef that she was working with, which I sadly don't have the name, they also had this clash. So no cooking show because it is non-existent in 2025. Netflix contract is finally over. What is going to happen? I don't know. They will find a way. They will find a way to keep with their shenanigans, and we will be there to keep addressing whatever they say, whatever they say and do, and especially all the nonsense, all the nonsense of the Montecito house. Harry looks so lost. I have the idea that around March, we will have another overseas trip. But those trips, that have to be paid for the countries they visit. The only thing they have left is the Rent-A-Royal stuff. And that Rent-A-Royal stuff can be very lucrative if, countries decide to invite her. But Meghan's experience in countries and those visits have not been ideal by her standards, so I don't think it's going to be repeated. But I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. Highlight the live chat. Again, I really hope we're not paying for their security. California's broke, homeless everywhere. Harry, blink twice if you need help. Harry needs help like years ago. Your comments, we're ready. Remember that we are live through YouTube, and like and subscribe. That way you will be able to support my channel and also download for free my 100 body language tips in the description of this video. And at the same time, you will be subscribed to my email list that is completely free. No, absolutely nothing to pay for. You get my emails and you get my guide for free. And also remember to follow me on X and follow me on Rumble. And what else I'm leaving behind? Something that I know I'm forgetting. Right now, something I'm forgetting. I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. The moment these shows end, remember that is if you like to use Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Amazon Music to listen to podcasts while you are driving or you are cooking or you're doing anything that you like that you cannot be watching the screen, I will upload these shows to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every single other. It's 4 platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. 4 platforms. No excuses to not watch or listen to the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. So, my body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet on another video or another live or tomorrow in episode 48, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.